All right, so we have gone over why you should start an online business, and we've talked about what are good online businesses you can start now in 2019 and beyond without any financial risk. So let's see right now, you have some ideas on some business you could start, but you don't have a plan. Or let's say right now you already have a business and you're making, 1,000 a month. You've already hit the 1K mark, but you haven't had your first 10K mark, $10,000 a month, and you don't have a plan, right? It's not going to magically happen. You have to have a plan to follow. So in this video, we're going to go over the third big question, and that is how to write a business plan for your online business. And if you don't know the answer to this question and really how to do it, you're going to have a very hard time starting a business and have a very hard time growing a business. Now, me and Debbie are going to give you two different perspectives here, okay? Debbie is going to talk to you more so about like the bootstrap method business plan, as she would call it, right? Something that's very simple, to the point, and something that would be very good for somebody that's just starting their business, okay? And then I'm going to talk about the business plan from a perspective, assuming that you already know a lot about business, or you already try to run a business, or you're trying to grow a business, okay? So with that being said, Debbie is going to get started. And remember that all these questions, okay, if you want a one-on-one with us, you have to understand the answers to these questions, okay? So I recommend that as you're watching the video, you take notes on all these questions. So, Debbie, what's your plan?
So thank you, Thomas. Very good introduction. So guys, if you know me for a very long time, some of you probably know already that I love to start a business with minimal risk. Okay, I don't like to start a business in a very complicated, writing like 1,000 pages of business plan and going nowhere. I love to start a business with minimal risk, and this is what I would recommend you to do the same if you want to start a business and you have no idea what's going on. Okay, so this is what I call as bootstrap method and how to do this correctly. Okay, the first step on the bootstrap method is what I call idea generation. So grab a piece of paper and list down all the ideas of all the skills that you already have right now. It can be programming, it can be marketing, it can be web design, graphic design, or whatever. List down all the idea that you have that is actually helpful for other people. Okay, so that is the first step that you have to do. List down all the ideas that you have and as many ideas as possible. So the second step in the bootstrap method is go to a freelance marketplace. And why do you need to do this? You need to find the market that is actually able to use your idea immediately. Okay, so go to a freelance marketplace like Odesk, freelancer.com, TopTal, Elance, and so on, and then start looking for projects that is available there and start apply right now, even though you doesn't have the skill, or for let's say you doesn't really understand the whole project situation, just go apply first if it is actually matched with your first idea just now. Okay, so that's the second way. You just go to the freelance marketplace and start apply for the job. Thomas, do you have question?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah.
So freelancing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just to clarify, you can go to the freelance
Mm-hmm.
to basically just write articles. You could help somebody with a project,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
answer emails for somebody for a business. But
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, why would freelancing be part of a bootstrap business plan? Well, I know that I mentioned and Debbie mentioned that you can start an online business without any money, which is possible, and you can totally do that. But for some of you that absolutely have zero money at all and you're just trying to get by, and that's okay, eventually you're going to want to, down the road, invest some money in tools that will help you grow your business. So the reason why I think it's a really good idea that Debbie's incorporating the bootstrap method in part of the plan is to allow you to make some extra money on the side while you're working at your job or your career. So then later on, when your business is working, you can invest money in it. And that's not even a lot of money, like what, a couple $100, not even, yeah, just some extra money.
Correct. The reason, okay, let me clarify a little bit, okay? So you have a job, or probably you're already working in a company right now, and then you spend all your paycheck to paycheck to pay for your bills. So you actually started with nothing right now, okay? And the reasons why you are actually doing all this freelance job is because you want to use your remaining time for something that's more useful, which is actually generating what we call as capital to invest in the scalable business later on, okay? So this is the key. Use your idea, use your extra skills, and then use your time for something that is generating you results. That's why I'm actually incorporating this freelancing into a bootstrap way. Okay. So the first one is idea generation. Second one is go to freelance marketplace. The third one is go to a local business in your area. So within your neighborhood, within your community, go and find local business that is actually need your help, need whatever skills that you have, whether it's marketing, whether it's web design, whether it's actually writing content, whatever. And then start offering your service to them as well and charge them after that. Okay. And why do you need to do this? Because you want to connect with the people around you and you want to test whether your idea actually makes sense and whether you are actually having the skills that people are needed. Okay. So that's the third things, which is actually go to the local business. And the fourth thing is actually get the capital. So after you have done all this freelancing and then offering your service to a local business, you can get a little bit amount of capital that you can actually invest for your business later on. So now, with whatever skill that you already have, I want you to package all your skills into what I call as information business. How do you do this? So in the three main topics that I shared with you in the previous question, which is actually health, wealth, and relationship, go and find the problem worth solving in that particular niche. Okay, so you can help people how to make more money. For example, like flipping something on eBay or something, with Bitcoin or with how to create an app. You can actually create a course within that area. Or for example, like Nguyen, you are very good in people relationship, right? You can also create a course about how to become a better person, how to connect with other people. So at everything that you are doing need to have a purpose. So you need to find a niche within these three big market, which is actually health, wealth, and relationship, and then create a course about that. Okay, create a course and list down the top 10 problem or top 10 question that people are actually having, and then create a course on that on Udemy and price that for $10 to $20. So you can actually get a business immediately. Okay, Thomas, do you have question?
Yeah, I want to ask you, so just to clarify on
Uh-huh.
this, so basically what you're saying is find somebody that has a problem, that's a specific problem with health,
Correct.
wealth, relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and Nguyen with the fact that she wants to help people have better relationships by having
Mm-hmm.
better morality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She can do that
Mm-hmm.
because people need help with relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she can ask herself, like, so, because some people might think creating a course is overwhelming. So they could be like, well, here's the problem I'm going to solve. What are like the 10 steps to solve it? Break it down, and then make a video on each step, and then turn it into a course. And then, as you said, put it on Udemy, right?
Yeah. So one more
Yeah.
thing, guys. I do understand that a lot of people can be a little bit scary when they put themselves in front of camera. So don't think it too complicated because it's actually very easy. Okay. So how do you create a course? Like what Thomas just now said, just list down all the steps to solve a particular problem. Okay. How to make money? How to become a better person? How to become more healthy? Okay. Drinking juice every day, for example. So list down all the 10 steps that you can actually take to do that. Okay. And I think that, for example, like Tan and Nini, you can actually start with the freelance way because you already have the skills to actually solving problem right now. Okay, so that is the first thing, which is actually creating a course on Udemy and then charge them probably like $10 to $20, and you can start make money from that as well. Thomas, do you have question?
Yeah, one other person comes to mind
Uh-huh.
that has a service that he sells that he could actually turn it into a course, and he could probably put it on Udemy, right? So why don't you
Yes.
explain to him how he would do this? And this would happen to be Jerry, right?
Oh yeah, Jerry. So good thing about Jerry, okay? Um, Jerry, you love to teach about all this social media stuff and you love to share a lot of knowledge about social media stuff. Unfortunately, the way you try to sell it is a little bit wrong. And every time you try to sell it to me, the more I confused become because you didn't mention the key point and the step necessary how to become a social media expert. Okay, so that's why if you want to create a course, make it simple. Just what kind of problems that you are actually solving and list down all the steps that necessary for the people to be able to become the social media expert. Okay, don't go overbroad and talking about like digital point of view or something like that because people are not understand. They just want to get the results with the steps that they took. So make it simple, and if we have this one-to-one session later, Jerry, I will explain to you more how you can actually do this correctly and how you can get more customer with your social media expertise. Okay?
Right,
So
because he could, because like
yeah,
for you, for example, right? So
yes,
what you've done instead of like trying to reach people and like contact them one to one, which
yeah,
sometimes can be effective if you understand how to have, the sales technique that's called dancing with concerns and uncovering smoke screens and figuring out these things and understanding heart selling. But
correct, correct.
what you've done, instead of working one to one, you just posted your course on Udemy and you have like over 2,000 students, right?
Yes. So
So
on top of yeah, sorry. Okay, so on top of that, basically what Thomas said is like instead of we are trying to convince people about why we are so good, why our product is so awesome and so on, we just find the market that is already there and we try to sell it to them. Okay, so in the selling there are many ways to do that. There is like cold traffic, warm traffic, where we are actually trying to sell to the people that are already interested and the people that is actually very new and we need to educate them again.
but
So
on
later I will,
Udemy, but if
yeah,
but if he puts it
yeah.
on Udemy, that's like warm traffic, right?
Yes, because on
Right.
Udemy, people are searching for that keyword already. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So, just to recap, because probably you guys are a little bit lost. First is that idea generation skill, list down all the ideas that you already have. Second, go to freelance marketplace to actually get some kind of uh, results immediately and also test all your ideas. And the third step is go to local business. You want to get traction and you want to build like network within your community. Okay, the fourth one is get the money, get some capital to actually invest on your scalable business later on. The fifth one is to create a course on Udemy because you want to create your own product right now. You doesn't want to forever trading your time for money. You want to actually creating some kind of product that can automatically sell later on. Okay, after after you have creating a course on Udemy, and here's the good thing: go to go and transcribe all your courses into a Word document. Okay, so the 10 steps how to solve a problem, transcribe everything into a Word document, and then create a book from that course, and then put it on Amazon. Put it on Amazon Kindle or Create Space, and then after that you can charge like $10 to $20. So now you have a course, you have a book, and then how to, and then this is the last part, which is actually step number 7, is list down the top 10 questions within the problem that you are solving right now. Within your course, within your ebook, list down the top 10 questions. Okay, what people are actually searching, what people are actually having problem with, and then create a 5 minutes video for each problem. Create a 5 minute video for each problem, and then put it on YouTube. Why do you need to do this? Because you need to create what we call as traffic source. So within all your YouTube video, put a link to go to your course and put a link how do they find your book. So now you have a business, you have a business, you have a product, you have a book, you have a course, and you also have a traffic source. And literally you are starting with nothing, with just your skill. Okay, so this is how you can actually get started with basically no money. And again, when you put your course on Udemy, you don't need website. When you put your book on Amazon, you don't need to handle all the printing, the delivery, everything is done for you. So it sounds so awesome, right? Because it is awesome. This is why we are actually starting this online business. Okay, so now if you guys want to learn more about how to make this scalable and how to make these, Thomas will also share some key points for you to get started. So Thomas,
It's a very good way to get somebody started on a business. You
yes,
see, so a
with
business
nothing,
with nothing, right?
yes,
You
no
don't need to
risk.
go, right. You don't need to go out there and try to hire somebody to write you a business plan and spend 5 grand on getting a business plan. That's just it. You just get started, right? The business plan should be as simple as how do I make my first sale? There you
Correct.
go. Because if that doesn't work, then why have a plan for all this other stuff? And a few key things I want to mention about what Debbie was just saying, which is really cool, is that she really, in her bootstrap plan, she was really leveraging herself. So, for example, instead of trying to make a course and trying to like message all of her friends and everybody that she knows and trying to contact people, she, instead of trying to go to people and try to give it to them, she put it on Udemy and let everybody come to her. So just imagine, right, if she tried to outreach 2,000 people, that's a lot of work. Instead, she had 2,000 people come to her and buy her course, right? And not only that, not only they come to her and buy her course, but now they're becoming students of hers for her new company, UX Designer Career, the one that I'm helping her launch. So that's awesome. So it allows her to just get basically free traffic instead of having to work
Correct.
for it
Yeah. And
organically.
yes, organically. And on top of that, we also can build what we call as customer list, right? So it's not only like people are watching the cars and then goodbye, but we can also building like a long-term relationship because the course itself is just like how to become a UX designer. But on top of that, you also need another help. For example, like how to build a unique portfolio, how to nail your job interview, how to advance in your career. So I keep on helping all these UX designers to becoming better in their job with UX designer career. Okay, so that's how we are actually building what we call as starting with nothing, using your skill and experience and building like a scalable business. And for
Right.
all of you that is watching right now, I can also help you to scale whatever skills that you have. Okay, so we will talk later during the one-to-one strategy session. Okay, yeah, going to
Yeah.
Thomas.
Yeah. Very good point.
Yeah,
So, and notice, see, and Debbie didn't start her plan with, okay, I'm going to make 10 products. Debbie didn't start her plan with, I'm going to spend $20,000 on a human lie detector software. She didn't do that. She started very simply, right? And very easily. And there she goes. And then with that one course that helped people become UX designers, now she's going to help give them her own certification for UX designer. She's been doing it for like 10 years now, right? And she had her own team. So, and she was at the top of her career, so she can do that. And on top of that, then she's going to also have another course that teaches them how to create a unique portfolio. Then she's going to have another course that teaches them how to handle a job interview specifically for UX designers for their career. And then she's going to have another course that's going to teach people while they're working as a UX designer how to move up the ladder and get a promotion, just like she did, right? So you just
yeah,
start with one and then you just build and you build. And then eventually, as Debbie's talking about, when she says a scalable business, you can't scale a business off of one product, right? You have to have a product line. That's
mhm,
why you see companies like Apple and Amazon all over the place because they have hundreds and thousands of products that they can sell to the same person. So therefore they can make a lot of money from one customer and they make so much money from one customer, it's easy for them just to buy customers. Well, not buy them, but it's easy for them to advertise, to get leads, to get customers. So they spend, $100 to get a customer, but then they make 3,000 off of one customer, so they just grow. But anyways, so that Debbie's heading in the right direction, but you start with small. You start basic.
The key point is not about starting small. The key point is always about minimizing your risk and maximize your results. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Maybe now it's your turn, Thomas. I share a lot about myself.
Yeah. No, I just want to kind of touch base on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's say, for example, all right, let's say, because some of you may be thinking, okay, yeah, I got that, but what if I'm trying to grow a big business? Or yeah, I get it, but what if I'm already making 1,000 a month, right? Or what if I'm already at a couple grand a month, right? Or what if I'm making money with my business, but I also have a side job? How do I grow my business so I don't need my side job no more, so I can actually be 100% on my business?
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe you have a business that's kind of struggling right now. Like you have these great ideas, but it just seems very difficult when you think it should be very easy. So let's talk about this. All right. Now, when it comes to the business plan I'm going to give you, okay, it's more so for somebody that already has a lot of experience in business, somebody that is already making a couple $1,000s a month, and somebody that wants to try to just scale their business out and just make it bigger, right? They're willing to spend money to just grow their business, okay? Now, there's three big key things I'm going to talk about, all right? Three things. And a lot of these things are, you might get it, you might not, but it's going to make sense, but you might have to rewatch this a little bit, okay? So the three main things when it comes to building a business plan, so you have a business that can scale from the 1K mark to the 10K mark, right? And then even the $1 million mark, right? The big mark that everybody would love to achieve, right? Because the reality is this. People say, well, you know what? Eventually, my business will become scalable, or eventually, I'll be able to scale my business. That's not true. The truth is this: your business should be built to scale. From the moment you build it to scale. So you can use these ideas that I'm going to give you now in this business plan, so you can build your business now to scale. So there's three main things I'm going to talk about, and I suggest you write down these three main things in your notes, and then you can add details each one. Okay, the first one that I'm going to talk about is going to be market validation. Okay, so you need what's called market validation. And market validation basically means you're validating that you actually could have a business, right? You're not just trying to start something because you think it will work, right? Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to go make these little finger toys that I think are really cute, and I'm going to sell 5 billion of them. Okay, well, you may love it, but nobody else might like your pinky toy, whatever it is. Okay, I don't know. So that's not market validation. So market validation, the second thing is proof of concept. You want to have proof of concept so you know that you actually have something that's worth scaling, right? And the third thing for your business plan is you need to know your numbers. You need to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, then you don't know your money, and then you don't even know if you're making money, losing money. You don't know where the problem is in your business, and you're not going to know how to scale. So those are the three main things for your business plan. All right, so let's talk about the first thing. We're going to talk about market validation. Okay, so market validation, it starts with this. It starts with problem, solution, service, also known as the marketing department, sales department, and then the service department. All right. Now, to expand on that a little bit more, okay, for your marketing validation, you have the niche, problem, solution, service. Okay, so here's what you have to do when you start your business plan. All right, you have to nail your niche. And a niche is basically a specific group of people, right? So when we say people that are trying to lose weight, that's not a niche. A niche is people that are trying to lose weight for their wedding, right? Or people that, are trying to get rid of their love handles. Like, that's really niched, right? So, and if you have a business that's not niched, well, then you don't have a target customer. Then your conversions are going to hurt. Then you're not going to be converting very well. You'll be losing a lot of money. So the next thing, also when it comes to the niche, you have to be targeting a big enough group of people for your business plan. So you should ask yourself, okay, what I'm going to sell, does at least like 1 out of 100 people want this thing? or do at least 1 out of 100 people have this problem? If not, it's going to be very difficult to make enough money with your business. Okay. And then the next thing I want to ask about your niche is this. Are they emotionally invested in their problem? Do they actually give a damn? Or do they care? Are they emotional? Are they invested in what I could potentially sell? Next thing you have to ask yourself about the niche, this is called nailing your niche as part of market validation. You have to ask yourself, are they willing to spend money? Are they going to spend money, right? Some niches, nobody wants to spend any money. So for example, if your niche is to provide people food stamps, chances are you're not going to make $1,000 per customer. But if your niche is golfing, you want to sell golf clubs, chances are you can probably sell around $1,000 worth of golf stuff to a golfer, right? Because they're willing to spend money. It's market validation. So ask yourself, are they willing to spend money? Because you need money to grow your business, right? So that's nailing your niche. And one more thing I have to tell you is this, you have to identify a specific person. The biggest mistake that everybody makes is they think that, well, if I talk to everybody, I'll sell more stuff. No. What happens is the more people you talk to, the less people hear you. Okay? If me and you are in a crowd and I say, hey you, you're not going to hear me. But if I call you out by your name, like we've been doing this entire show, I mean not show, but this video, if I say, hey Adam, hey Dennis, hey Dong, hey Nini, hey Marco. You see how I'm getting your attention now? You see how targeted that is? When I say, hey Nuwan, hey Jerry, hey Abby, Patrick, hey Emmanuel. You see, it's targeted. So you want to make sure that you're really niched, right? You want to target a specific person, very specific, right?
Yes.
And then when you're very specific, you're going to have very high conversions because then you're talking one-to-one, and then more people will buy your stuff, right? So for example, if you have 1,000 people come to your business, right? But you're talking to everybody, you might sell maybe, 10 of them, right? But if you have 1,000 people come and they're very targeted, you might sell like to 300 of them. Be very specific. Debbie?
So very good point, Thomas. Just to add on a little bit about that, because a lot of people are asking me this question, right? If you are actually working on a specific niche, are you gonna miss out a lot of potential customers, for example? And from the way you are actually telling this whole story, I don't think that you will lose the potential customers, right? Because you are actually starting the market validation with a niche. But then the more you make it scalable, you can add on more product line and you can actually target more people, correct? So later on, you can be the market leader in a particular niche. Yeah, or
Right.
maybe you can elaborate about that as well so that people can understand that.
Right. So the idea, again, we're not going to try to cover everything on this video. We can talk more about this on the one-to-one. But again, you don't need a lot of people. Like you need a high conversion. So imagine this. Imagine you had 100 people coming to your website and everybody bought, every single one. Well, you'd be rich, right? But chances are, if you have 100 people coming to your website, right, but you're talking to everybody and the person who feels like you're not specifically talking to them, you feel like they don't feel like it's specially made for them, then they're not going to be really that invested in what you have to say. They're not really going to care. But if they feel like you're talking to them directly, one-to-one, and you call them by their direct name, versus I say, hey, are you trying to lose weight? Maybe. But if I say, hey, are you trying to lose 30 pounds before your wedding in a couple months? Oh, now I got somebody's attention, right? So I'm talking specifically to you. So you need to nail your niche, very specific. You don't need, that's key. And then what you do is, and then if you're going to talk to another person, then you have another offer for a specific person. Always one-to-one, always one-to-one. Anyway, so that's key. The next thing is then with the problem, okay? Because in business, you have a problem, you have a solution, then there's a service that's made, there's money. People pay to solve their problems. Whether they're bored, they pay for Netflix, right? Whether they got a toothache, they go to a dentist. Whether they're trying to break their gambling addiction, they'll buy an information product on how to break their gambling addiction or their porn addiction. Or if somebody's trying to learn how to make money from Bitcoin, they'll buy a course on Bitcoin to solve their problem. Or if somebody's trying to learn how to build an app and they can't figure it out, they'll go pay somebody to teach them how to build an app, right? Or if somebody is having a problem with morality and they realize they're a shitty person, well, you know what they're going to do? They're going to go try to get a personal development coach, right? So you have to ask yourself, right? Problem, solution. There's money being made. So you have to then ask yourself, what is the problem with that niche? What is the problem that you're serving? So in your business plan, once you nail the niche, then you have to figure out exactly what is that problem. What is that problem that you're going to be solving, right? And how are you going to talk about that problem when it comes to your business, right? Because when your ideal customer believes you understand the problem better than they do, they're going to subconsciously believe you have the solution, and then they're going to want to invest in you and your business. So that's key.
Yes.
So once you find that, once you develop the problem, once you get that nailed, the next thing you want to ask yourself, okay, what is the solution going to be? Okay, and this is the product now, right? So you have to ask yourself now, with your business plan now, what's the solution? What is the product going to be? What is this? And the thing with the product is you want to ask yourself, okay, you don't really necessarily want to reinvent the wheel. You don't do that. We live in an age where in 2019, going to be 2020 and so on, whenever you're watching this video, we're not in like the 1960s, okay? Like everything's basically been figured out. Everything's basically been done, unless it's a rare thing or something. But so what I'm saying is that you don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to the solution. You do the market research, right? And again, this is market validation, right? This is part of the market research, the niche research, and the customer research, and now the competitor research, right? So you're figuring out, what are the competitors selling? What are they selling? What is proven to sell? And how do they sell it? What are they charging it for? What do their testimonials say? What are people bitching about on Amazon? What are they complaining about? What do they not like about it? So when you're going out there and you're doing market validation, which is what we're in right now, what you do is you go search your product on Amazon or on Yahoo Answers or forums, and see what people love about the products on the market, and find out what people hate about the products, right? You take all that and you incorporate that into your solution to make it better. All right? That's key. So you do some market validation. Yeah, Debbie?
Very good point. So to add on that, right? Every time you guys want to create like finding out what is the problem worth solving. So for example, you guys can do like user research, market research, competitive analysis, and different kind of things to find out what's the problems in the market. But to add on, for example, if you are actually my UX students, I always teach them there are actually 5 whys that you need to ask your customers to find a particular problem in a specific niche. For example, if you want to helping people to solve weight loss or something like that, to lose weight, okay? Helping people to lose weight is very broad, right? But we need to ask our customers again, why do you want to lose weight? And then they will tell you like, oh, I want to lose weight because I want to look good, right? And then we ask them again, why do you want to look good? Oh, because I want to be presentable in front of my potential husband. And then you ask another why again, like, why do you want to look good in front of your potential husband? And then they will tell you, oh, because our wedding is coming soon. So basically, you keep on asking why until you find out what is exactly the core problems that they're having. So if you see that you're actually targeting people, everyone want to lose weight, right? But now, because you keep on asking your customers the specific problems that they are having, now you have a niche. Your niche is like helping people to lose weight on the before the wedding, for example, something like that. Yeah. So that is actually what Thomas is actually explaining to you, to find a problem on a specific niche.
And
Yeah.
that is an exercise that Debbie could walk you through on a one-to-one. Right.
Correct,
That'd be a
yeah.
good exercise.
So if you are my students, some of you are my students that are watching right now, I explain all these ideas to you, right? But I'm not sure whether you are actually already apply this to your business or not. So during the one-to-one strategy session later on, I will break it down again so that you can actually have a better understanding how to do this to your business. Okay. So Thomas, please continue.
Yeah, so then you figure out what you want to develop for the solution and your product, right? You ask all the whys, like Debbie was saying. You find out what they're complaining about on forums, on Yahoo Answers, on Amazon, read reviews. You figure out what they're saying. And then also find out what they love about other products. And then you take all this information to allow you to do market validation for your solution, for your product. And then there you go, right? And then also you're going to want to have a USP, which is unique selling proposition, which means position yourself to sell uniquely in the marketplace. The most important thing about your product is that it doesn't sound like something else that somebody already did research on about, or already knows about. You want something that has something about it that seems a little bit different than everything else. Doesn't need to be completely unique, but it can't seem like a carbon copy, right? Okay. And a good example of that is that McDonald's has the Big Mac, right? Well, then Burger King came out with the Big K. It's literally just the Big Mac. But Burger King changed up a few, Burger King changed up a few different things and made it the Big K. Okay, but it worked. So then the last thing you want to ask yourself in the business plan is the service. Now, how are you going to service your customers? How are you going to provide this service, right? Is it going to be physical? Is it going to be digital? Is it going to be one-on-one? And when you provide this service, it can provide it in a way to where you can actually scale your business eventually. Like, is it going to cost you a lot of money? Is it going to be sufficient for you? Is it going to be efficient for your business? How are you going to provide this service? So, right, so that's market validation. Okay. And then, Debbie, you want to say something real quick?
No. Please continue.
Okay. And then number 2, and this is a simple one, proof of concept. Now, once you do this market validation and you feel like you're onto something, right? The next thing you want to do is you want to do proof of concept, right? And I already kind of mentioned this. Is it selling, right? Can you have a USP? Did you survey the market? And then did you test it? Did you try to sell it, right? So you need to go take this thing that you made, whatever it is, no matter how small it is, no matter how big it is, and then go sell it to 10 people that you know in your network that would want this thing. Now, the average person knows a couple hundred people. If you can't find 10 people in your network that need this thing or want this thing, then it's not good. Then it's not that good, right? So that's proof of concept right there. That means you need to stop and reevaluate where you're at with your business plan, okay? The last one, number 3, and that is knowing your numbers. And this is a tricky one. This is something to be talked about on a one-on-one call with me and Debbie. This is very tricky. Now, knowing your numbers. A business, at the end of the day, is just numbers. That's really what it is. It's numbers. This number equals this number, then this number equals this number. All right? When you make 1K a month, it's because all your numbers add up to make 1K. When you're making 10K a month, it's because all your numbers lined up a certain way to make 10K. Right? While you're making 100K a month, your numbers lined up a certain way to make 100K. So all you do is you find out what your goal is for your business. You say, well, I want to make 10K. Or I just want to make 1K, or I want to make 100K a month. What you do is you got to reverse engineer your numbers. And I teach all my high-end clients this stuff. Like I got my big client on a front gunner, okay, 20 grand up front. I showed him a plan to reverse engineer all his numbers so he can understand how to get to the 100K mark within the next 6 months, right? But this is based off his business model, his plan. So you need to reverse engineer your numbers. So when you're doing a business plan, you have to ask yourself, okay, where am I at now? Where do I want to be? And once I have this number, how am I going to reverse engineer this? Okay, if you can't reverse engineer it, then you're going to be trying to achieve this business number like hoping and wishing, right? And that's not a good way to run your business. That's a good way to set yourself up to fail. So this is why you want to know your numbers. And to know your numbers, you might say, well, how do I know my numbers? Start with the number you want, and then ask yourself, well, how do I reverse engineer that number? So I'm going to give you a quick few things to think about when it comes to this. Now, in your business plan, you need to write down advertising, lead, customer. All these things are important for your numbers. Then you also need to write down on paper front end, back end. Okay, front end, back end. I'm going to explain this in a second. Right? Then you also need to write down CAC, ALV, POS, and LTV. Okay? Why are these numbers important? Well, if you are running a business right now, if you're already making 1K a month, if you're already gonna make a couple grand, you should know what this stuff means. If you don't know what this means, this is exactly why you're stuck at where you're at in your business right now, because you don't know your numbers. This is why you can't grow to 10K. And if you don't know your numbers, you're not going to be able to find out where the problem is in your business. You're not going to know if it's a one-on-one follow-up, like with what Debbie was having with someone. You're not going to know if the problem is with the sale. You're not going to know if the problem is with the service if you don't know your numbers, right? So let's talk about these numbers real quick. So here's some numbers you need to take in consideration for your business plan. Because if your numbers make sense, then you can grow your business. So here's an example. So with your business, you're going to have a CAC cost. This stands for customer acquisition. Okay. And then you're going to have an ALV, which is average lead value. Okay. What you can afford to spend to acquire a lead without going in the red and losing money. All right. The next number is POS, point of sale. What is your average point of sale? So somebody comes to your business, what is the average amount of money they spend with your business on the front end? Okay. And then the next number is your LTV, your average lifetime value of a customer. What is the average amount of money your customer is going to spend over their lifetime, over a 6 month to a year period or longer? Okay, these are all the numbers you need to write down on paper for your business right now. Especially if you're stuck, you can't grow it, or you want to scale it. You don't know these numbers, you're running your business blind. Okay, so you might as well put a blindfold on and go work in your business. So let me elaborate real quick because I'm going to end this and then I'm going to basically be done. So let me explain. CAC is customer acquisition cost. How much does it cost you to acquire a customer, right? You got to spend $100 to get a customer? How much you got to spend? All right. And then your average lead value. What is a lead worth to you? So if you got 100 leads and let's say you made $100, well, then your average lead value is $1. But if you got 100 leads and you made 1,000, well, your average lead value is now $10 a lead. Why does that matter? Well, now this means that you can afford to spend $10 to acquire a lead. So for example, if it only costs you $2 to get a lead, that means every time you get a lead for your business, you're making $8 net. You spend $2 to get a lead, you just made $10. You instantly. So for example, if you get 100 leads in one day, guess what? You made $1,000 gross. Take away the $200 for the lead cost. Well, you netted $800, right? Boom. Now you're just focusing on getting leads. Okay. So then your POS. What is your POS? Point of sale. What is the average amount of money all your customers spend on the front end of your business? The first time they buy from you, how much do they spend? Why does this matter? Because this is going to let you know if you're breaking even on the front end or not. Now, if you're breaking even on the front end, that means you'll make a lot of money in the back end, and then you have a successful business model. So for example, if your average point of sale, let's say, is $100, okay? And let's just say you find out it costs you $100 to get one customer. That means you're breaking even on your point of sale. And that means that all the money you make after that will be profit. You have to know this. Or maybe it costs you $100 to acquire a customer, but you're only making $50 in the front end. So you actually lose money in advertising up front. And the next question is, can you actually make that money back on the back end and break even on the back end? And how are you going to do that? And then once you break even on the back end, then how are you going to actually make a profit now? See, this is important. Because this is now we're starting to figure out where our problem is in our business, why we can't grow, why you're stuck at $2,000 a month, $5,000 a month, or you can't scale, right? So then the last number to take in consideration is on your back end, which has to do with like what you're selling after the first sale. What are you selling afterwards? And now we're getting into what's called the LTV, your lifetime value of a customer. Now, the average lifetime value of a customer is the average somebody will spend with you over their lifetime. So for example, let's say you got 1,000 customers. And they all spend, let's say you got 100 customers and they all spend $1. Well, your average lifetime value of a customer is $1. Let's say you got 100 customers and let's say you have some customers that spend $10. Then you have some customers that spend $500. Well, then your average lifetime value of customer might be $300. Okay. Now, why does this matter? If your average lifetime value of a customer is $300, and your CAC cost is $100. Now this is important. Pay very close attention. Okay, it costs you $100 to acquire a customer, and over their lifetime you'll make $300. This now tells you that you have a business that can scale, because now your ROAS, which is return on ad spend, is 1 to 3. That means when you spend $100 in advertising, you'll make $300 back. So now that means if you're advertising, Now you can go from spending $100 a day in advertising to then $200 a day in advertising. And you're okay with this. You'll double your ad spend because you'll know you're going to make money because of your ROAS, because your ratio, right? So now you spend $200 a day in advertising, and now you're making $600 a day. You just doubled your business without doing any extra work. All you did was spend more money in advertising. There you go. So that gives you an idea how you scale your business. And these are the things that we talk about in our one-to-one sessions. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you don't have these numbers in your business right now, and you don't know your numbers, well, that's why you can't grow your business. So that's all I got to say about that. So hopefully that gives you some ideas. And again, in your business plan, you need to have that all out on your business plan, especially if you're going to spend a lot of money in your business. Have that listed out.
That is very good and awesome way to break down all the scalable business plans just now that Thomas mentioning, like market validation, proof of concept, and also know your numbers. But I do also understand that some of you are probably confused, like what the hell are they talking about? So don't worry so much about that, guys, because later during the one-to-one strategy session, we will break down everything for you. We will take a look of your current business, and we will help you to create like product line, to understand your pricing strategy, to create the upsell, cross-sell, and break down the lifetime customer value and so on. So we will help you along the way. We will basically hand holding you. And the thing is that if you go to a business strategist right now, or any kind of business agency, they probably charge you for this kind of information alone like thousands of dollars. But during the one-to-one strategy session, we will basically give you the business plan for free. Okay, and this is actually what I request Thomas to do this together. Basically, Thomas is my business partner, and I want to help all of you to get things going on as soon as possible. So, for example, I told Thomas about Adam business right now, and also Mark, and also Abby and Patrick. All of you have a very big potential to make a very scalable business, but you are actually stuck in your current situation because you don't really understand how to do this correctly and how to open up all your digital channel. So this is why I want to have a one-to-one business planning session with you, with Thomas, and maybe your team. You can also bring your partner if you want to, so that we can actually help you to reverse engineering the whole process and making a scalable business for you. Okay, so if you guys have any more questions, you guys can also leave a message below. Yeah.
And Debbie just reminded me of something that's very important. I want to say this. There are 4 people, based off what you're talking about. Again, you guys see what we're talking about here. Like, if you're really serious about starting a business, you're talking to 2 people that are doing this and that know what's going on, right? And if you're really serious about growing your business, we're here to help you do this. We're not here to play around. So there are 4 people, because based off what Debbie just said, it reminded me. There are 4 people that I want to kind of talk about real quick. And that has to do with, so Dennis, all right? From what I've heard from Debbie is that you have this business that has to do with like detecting lies, and you want to build this software that helps people figure out if somebody's lying or not. So you're coming out with your own software, so instead of somebody being hooked up to like a polygraph machine to find out if they're lying or not, instead you got a different way to figure it out with your own software. And I think that's great. That's a great idea, because there is a niche of people that don't know if somebody's lying to them or not and want to know if they're being lied to, right? And there is a problem there.
It's actually $1 million idea, That's what I
yeah, it's a good idea, but like I want to say though, Dennis, so there's a lot of people that have that problem, right? And the solution out there right now, for example, like a polygraph machine, the average person doesn't have a $10,000 machine in their house, and they don't know how to use it. You need like a 4-year degree to even know how to use a lie detector machine, right? So that solution isn't available to the average person. So what's cool about your idea, Dennis, is that you have something that could literally be affordable to everybody, right? They don't need a 4-year degree to know how to use your software. I hope not. and they don't need thousands of dollars to buy your software like to do a giant machine. Um, but the one thing that I wanted to say is this, and we'll talk more about this one-on-one, but with your idea, and I can show you this based off market research, okay, there are literally like 30,000 people a month, there's tons of them, that are trying to figure out if somebody's lying or not. They want to know how to tell if somebody's lying, how to know if somebody's telling the truth. There was even a TV show made here in the US that was called Cheaters, a TV show. And people wanted to find out if their spouse was cheating, okay? And they don't know if they're not. They don't know if they can trust their spouse. They don't know if they can trust their wife. They don't know if they can trust their husband. They have no idea, right? There's literally an online dating website called Ashley Madison. There's like, it's all about infidelity and cheating. And there's like 200,000 people up on there cheating on their spouses. So we're in an age where we really don't know if somebody's being committed and faithful or not. So what I'm trying to say is that there is a massive amount of people on the internet that want to learn how to tell if somebody's lying. There are a massive amount of people on the internet that want to learn how to tell if somebody's telling the truth. There's a lot of people that want to learn if their boyfriend or girlfriend is cheating. Are they being faithful? Can they trust their partner? Can they not trust them? And there's like 30,000 people that have to do with just the relationship part of it. And your everyday person is another 30,000 people there too. It's a massive niche that you have something that could be awesome. But there's one thing I want to say is I think you're kind of going about it the wrong way. You're
Okay.
starting with the software. Okay, you're starting with the software, right? But what you could do is, instead of trying to put 20 grand into a software and hoping that it works, instead, you can do it the other way and do what me and Debbie are talking about, where you actually go about creating an information product that teaches somebody how to tell if somebody's lying or not. And people will spend a lot of money for that. People spend over $1,000 on a polygraph test one time. Imagine somebody learns your skills and they can use them for the rest of their life. So somebody would be more than happy to spend you $1,000 on your special training that they can use for the rest of their life versus on a machine that they can use one time.
Yeah.
So that's something to take into consideration.
Yeah, we will share more about that later on the one-to-one strategy call. Yeah. Because if
another thing,
too much, then I think they will be confused later.
I know, but I just want to tell that to Dennis. No, it's really simple. So,
Okay.
and then you start with the information product, right? You sell that. And the cool thing is this, Dennis, when you have an information product, you'll make so much money off that will actually fund your software. So if you want to put all this money in your software, your information product will fund it. Also, you will then have like thousands of people as leads and as customers that then you can survey and ask them really what they want, what they don't want, and have them test your software, right? So there you go.
Yeah.
So then one other person I want to talk to real quick is Mark. Mark has this digital agency, okay? And Mark, you really think about your numbers, and if you're not selling packages that are at least $1,000 a piece, you're missing out probably on half your income. So for example, if you're at $3,000 a month, the quickest way to double your income is to double your price. And when it comes to a web design agency, okay, you can easily have a $1,000 package, a $2,000 package, and a $5,000 package. And the best thing about having a $5,000 package is it makes people want your $1,000 package even more. And then also, Abby and Patrick, I'm really concerned about you guys because you guys want to start a business and you invested over 10 grand on business, but it sounds like you might have not made any of your money back. Based off me and the training that Debbie are giving you, okay, whenever you spend over 5 grand on business training to build a business, you should be getting the information me and Debbie are giving you. Would you agree, Debbie?
Absolutely, yeah. So basically for Abby and Patrick, we can literally help you to actually scale your business and start your own business on the side, on top of your job, easily. So basically, you don't really have to wait for years to get the results, okay? And since you already spent a lot of money, like that, over 10 grand on something, you should be able to get results immediately. So this is
Right.
why Thomas and I are actually wants to help you to create like a scalable business, especially like know your numbers and creating like market validation and so on, because we strongly believe that you have a lot of potential.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially when you're willing to be that committed to something.
Yeah.
You should have at least got a proven business plan with that
Mhm.
money that you spent on that person. They
Correct.
should give you a business plan and something that you could easily implement and see a return on your investment, especially when you're spending a lot of money like that.
Yes.
And the good news is with me and Debbie, later on down the road, we're going to have a program that will offer you guys and it will actually help you every week. We teach you how to build a business. And then after business is live, we then help you implement and grow your business to the 1K mark and then all the way to the 10K mark. So, but I just want to say that. So if you're going to spend any money on business stuff, just know that you should have this business plan as part of the deal. Otherwise, it's a bad deal. And
Business
then
plan
one
and get results. Yeah.
Right. Yes. And then one last thing I want to say is to Emmanuel. Okay, Emmanuel, I suggest that you think about the Bitcoin thing and do some market research on that. You're a smart man. Do some market research, do some keyword research, and find out what kind of market's out there, what's being sold, and see if you could make the numbers work for you in that business. Because Bitcoin is a very interesting place you could be in. And the cool thing about Bitcoin, you may think, well, I don't always want to teach about Bitcoin. Well, I'm going to tell you one key thing about that business is that I know somebody that does trading for a living, okay, and he spends over $300 a month on a software. So in that business, in Bitcoin, if you actually taught that business, down the road, you could actually create your own software and sell it to your students that want to do Bitcoin for like a living. It's just something to think about. So yeah, that's all I really want to say and add on there to
And
just to,
one more thing. I think this is for Adam. So basically, Adam is one of my clients. Okay, and the thing about Adam is also he has his own business that is actually doing all this multimedia software. But then I check on his website. I think that we can actually help him as well with the conversion, especially the UX part. So literally right now you are actually limiting yourself because you are only focusing on networking and finding people to get customers. But the moment you are actually applying all this online digital business idea into your business, you can easily make it scalable, and then you can only focus on what's matter and solve all your problems. Okay, so that's actually all the people that I want to help, and I really want to help all of you immediately. And literally, like I said again, the one-to-one strategy session is free. It's free because we want to help you. We want to give you the business plan that you can literally do it right now and get results immediately. Okay, so if you guys have any more questions, leave the message below, and I will be there to answer all your questions. Thomas and I will be there. Yeah.
yes. Any questions you have, leave them below. I'll be more happy to answer them. And that reminds me, Debbie,
Oh
did
my
Adam
God, this is never
did
going to
did
end.
did
Okay.
Adam fix that video yet on his website?
We will fix it together. Okay? Okay.
Adam, I think you got a video on your site that's not playing right now.
Yes, yes.
You might want to fix that.
So
I
Adam,
took I took
we will
the
help you. We will help you to create a website that is designed for conversion. So it's not
yes.
just like design a website. Basically, you already spend your time, energy, and money to build that website, right? So you need to design for conversion. Okay. So we will
Right.
help you on that as well. Okay. So that's it, guys. For the third question, we will go back
Leave
to
your
the fourth
questions
question.
below the video.
Late.
Questions.
Okay. Okay. I need to go toilet. Oh my God.